Hello, Kayla.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Hello, listeners. See, did it again.
Hi, listeners.
Damn, it's hard to remember that. Maybe I should address the listeners first and then address you. Or I'd be like, hey, listeners, welcome to Mumblecast. My name's Leah. I'm here with my co-host, Kayla. And then you can go, hello.
Hi.
Yeah. We'll figure it out for the next one. How are you doing this week?
I'm good, how are you?
Has anything changed since the last time I asked you? On Monday?
I had a pretty good week at school.
Yeah?
Yeah, the kids were great this week. What about you?
Work was boring. Gym was normal. I'm really sore this week. We did a couple of workouts last weekend, and I did a couple of this weekend that were just a bit aggressive. And I'm like, ugh. And my adductors inside of my legs are dead sore. I don't know why.
It's probably the squats. That's what got me the other day.
Could be the squats. I was thinking it's either the squats or it's. I went to rugby training, and we did some agility stuff, which is fine. But I'm also a bit like, well, that's good because I don't do enough of it. But my changing directions and stuff is, if she's biting something, she won't let you take it off her. So we've got a dog on our lap at the moment. The dog's name is Danny. Bo, shout out to you, even though I know you don't listen. And it's his dog. It's a wee Chihuahua. Not a fan of it. It's maybe about 5 pounds, and it's a Chihuahua dash. No, what's the sausage dog called?
I don't know.
It's
just cute.
So it's like, it almost looks like a Chihuahua, but it's got a body similar to like a sausage dog. Dash 100 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
a
why it's
wiener
weird
dog.
looking. Well, a wiener dog, yeah. Sorry, we call it sausage dog.
Why are you growling at me?
If you try and take anything that's in its mouth.
I'm trying to take it. You can have it.
Even if she's even if you pat her when she's biting something. Which is interesting because it can kind of help us get on today's topic, because that's one type of dog. It's got a wee harness on it right now, which is kind of cute. You can't quite hold it by its harness though, because it'll slide over its head, so it's not a very good harness. But it's on regardless. Your dog, for the other hand, though, is slightly bigger and has a harness as well.
Slightly a lot bigger.
And what's your dog again? What breed?
Siberian Husky.
Siberian Husky.
Yes.
And it's really fluffy, and its harness gets lost within its fur somewhere.
Yes,
it almost looks like it's like
drag
super
her
fat.
around by it sometimes.
And it's a cute dog. It's not. I don't. Cute's the right word. It's very handsome. Even being a girl, you can call a girl handsome, right?
No, she's cute.
No, I think she's handsome.
Okay.
I think Siberian Huskies have a handsome look. You know,
very regal,
like very refined and sort of like. Where this one would be cute. This isn't a handsome dog, is it?
No.
I mean, it is a cute dog.
It's so cute.
It's not handsome. So for some strange reason, as we know, listeners, if you listen to the last 53 episodes, we like to talk about
random topics. 50. This will be 50.
Oh yeah, because Jumbo was last week, so
53.
No, 54.
No, this will be 53.
No, this will be 54.
Yes, this will be 54. Sorry, guys.
We like to talk random topics, and we kind of just almost picked a topic out the hat, which kind of works though, because Kayla does have a Siberian Husky.
I do.
And that is a dog that has been bred specifically for one thing, really.
Yes.
A combination of different wolves and dogs and things have been mixed together to create... Did you say Siberian now?
Siberian.
Yeah. Because these dogs are used for...
Dog sledding.
Dog
pulling.
sledding. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so before we get started...
Let's get ready to mumble.
I never say let's get... Oh, what? I usually say... What did I normally say?
Let's get ready to mumble.
No, but what did I say before that?
In that case.
Oh. I don't know why I say in that case. Anyway, okay. So, has Sadie, your Siberian Husky, ever dragged anything other than you in the park?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we, so we wanted her to, like, pull. So we got it's just this, like, rope thing that you hook to a bike, and it's like a really big harness that connects at the back, and she would pull us on that.
So you'd have it on a bike, you'd be on a bike?
Yeah. But you don't actually have to pedal, like she pulls.
Yeah, and does she like that? Mm-hmm. Does she enjoy doing it?
She did.
Really do it here,
we did it in Amsterdam. It was a lot cooler, so it was fine. We haven't tried it here. We don't have a bike for one, but yeah, we did it a couple of times. She really seemed to enjoy it. She's not she's good at the actual pulling part, but she gets distracted, so she would like very quickly cut to the side, and then you have to like brake really fast, or else you'd fall off. Yeah. So it was just a lot of like being conscious, like very conscious of what was going on. And we would also, one of us would be riding, one of us would be like running, and we weren't fast enough to keep up with her. But if we weren't there, she wouldn't. If we all three weren't together, she wouldn't run. So one of us would end up having to run down a path, wait like maybe half a mile down, and then she would know we were down there, and then she would ride with the other one.
Yeah.
But like if unless we were together, she wouldn't do it.
That's good and bad, I guess, because she wants to keep the group together.
Yeah, it's
which
all about the
is
pack.
quite important. Yeah.
She's all about the pack. If one of us goes to bed and the other one's not, like she's not happy about it. The pack has to stay together.
And does she sleep upstairs with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think most dog owners do that nowadays?
Sleep with their dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. Like,
where else would they sleep?
The stuff I was looking for, sled stuff, some of them keep them in the house because they're prized possessions, and some of them keep them in like kennels outside.
Okay.
Which would be weird in Alaska and stuff.
Yeah.
I know my
That's
brother,
cold.
he keeps his dog in the bed.
Yeah.
Like, they try not to, but he ends up in the bed.
Yeah, Sadie started sleeping with us like
he ends up in the bed.
3 weeks
Yeah.
into having her. But we knew we wanted to do that anyway, so we're okay with it.
But not that. Well, yeah, okay. As in, your bed must be made up of like 3 materials. You know,
Yes.
the bed sheets, the bed duvet, and then her fur.
Yes.
Everywhere.
She does get very hot at night and climbs into the floor and like goes to the bathroom and lays on the tile. So I would say she probably sleeps with us like a quarter of the night.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
she goes to sleep in the bed with us and wakes up in the bed with us, and then throughout the night she's hardly there.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on. Let's talk a little bit about what sled dogs are, what they do, and we can talk a little bit about how it's maybe more used nowadays, and then we can go into some of the dogs because the dogs are more interesting. Well, to me, the dogs are more
Yes.
interesting. So, what can you tell us about sled dogs?
Like the sport or the actual dogs?
Let's go on about like, where it's come from, where the sports come from.
Okay, so I think originally it was how, like, in places like Alaska or just really cold places in general, how they would transport things.
Uh-huh.
So the dogs would, I think it said something, or I read something about like during like the gold rush, they were using them a lot to transport things. And then,
Which was like the early 1900s, late 1800s, something like that. I think.
yeah, I think so.
So I know in North America, they've been more used kind of in today's sort of style in that sort of era and a little bit before that. But they were definitely used prior to that by the Native Americans, and even in like Russia and Siberia, they were used, hence the Siberian Husky, slightly differently. Well, mainly for getting around, but you'd have the hunting dogs. You know, they'd be used to help you pull you around to go hunting, I guess. So it basically was as transport.
Yeah.
To maneuver around the tundra in different areas that are pretty hard to get around prior to things like snowmobiles and stuff, I guess. Because how else do you get through?
Yeah.
Yeah. And these studies show that it was apparently used over 9,000 years ago, where domestic dogs were in like Siberia were then sort of selectively bred to become sled dogs or hunting dogs, one of each, or either or, because they need slightly different sort of physical traits, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it's also used in like Finland and Greenland and.
I didn't know it was used in all those places.
Yeah, not as much, I'm sure. I think they rely on maybe reindeer or something more. As silly as it sounds.
That's so cool.
Because they still would have to get around the same way, but I know there's an excessive amount of deer and stuff in Norway. So and then after the introduction of things like airplanes and snowmobiles, it started to die down a little bit. And you're right, during the gold rush it was used for mail and during the winter especially to get back and forth. But after the World Wars, the planes were introduced and snowmobiles, it sort of disappeared a little bit.
It disappeared. Until, what year was it? 1925.
Oh yeah, what happened in 1925?
The Iditarod, so the Iditarod was the trail that they were using.
Was that the first one?
No. So
Okay.
the Iditarod race now is in commemoration of that 1925 run.
Okay.
So what happened was, the Iditarod Trail was, or portions of it were used by like the Native American people, and
So Iditarod is a now like unused town in Canada or Alaska?
Alaska.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's a trail, like a whole trail, and so they were using, or portions of it were used by Native Americans. That's the gold rusher people were using it, and then it kind of just went unused, like once the gold rush ended or whatever. Until 1925, there was an outbreak of I think you say it like diphtheria. It's like some kind of disease in Nome, Alaska. So the drug or whatever, the cure, they had it in Anchorage, which was about 1,000 miles away, but the ships were planes couldn't be used, ships were too slow. I think it said something like one of the ports into Nome was like frozen over, so there was like almost no way to get it there. So they ended up training it to another city, and then that city was still about 600 and something, almost 700 miles away from Nome. So then they used sled dogs to get it from that city to Nome.
So that's what happened in 1925.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like that was like the big thing, and that's where Balto comes in, because Balto's team was the team of the last.
So explain who Balto is.
So Balto is a famous Siberian Husky.
Okay.
Who was on his team of dogs was the last. They were the last leg of that like mission or whatever. And I remember we watched this movie like every year in elementary school, and he did a lot of at one point I think his team like fell into some ice broke, and he like saved his whole team. At one point I read that like
the dog saved the whole team. Okay.
At one point I read, I mean that could have been like updone by the movie, but at one point I did read that like it was completely like, I don't remember what they call it, but like where the snow was so thick that you couldn't, the guy said he couldn't see his hand in front of his face, but Balto let him through that. So Balto was the lead dog. I don't remember what they called the lead dog. But he was the lead of that team, and he's the one that got the medicine to Nome as the last part of that leg. Now, he wasn't the one his team didn't go through the most dangerous part, but they're still the most well-known because they're the ones that got that final leg.
That's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Yeah, but Balto's
like all the glory.
His statue's in Central Park in New York. There's movies about him.
New York?
Yeah.
Taking all the glory as well.
Yeah.
So Iditarod is one of many races, because the dog racing seems to be split into 2 different categories, or 3 different categories. You've got your sprint, mid-distance, and long distances, and Iditarod is considered the longest, because I think it's 1,000-mile race, give or take, because I think they have even and odd. They change the route slightly differently between the north route and southern route.
Okay.
And depending on the snowfall and the weather, they can change it, but it's around 1,200 miles.
Okay.
Which is a hell of a lot of a distance.
Yeah.
And I think the quickest time it's been done is like 8 hours, 8 days, and the longest is taking like 35 or something.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy. But there's other big famous ones, just to go over them before we talk about it, because we're going to take a bit more about Iditarod, because it's quite an interesting one. But the longest one ever was a one called Hope Race, which was actually 1,200 miles. So, sorry, Iditarod is 1,000 miles. The previous Hope Race, which was 12,000 miles, and that was starting in Nome, Alaska as well. But that's now defunct. That's not run anymore. There's also a big one in France, or the French Alps, called La Grande Odyssée, the big Odyssey, I guess, which is 900 kilometers, so it's only half the distance, if not less. But that's up and downhill quite a lot, so they transfer up and down the Alps, which is apparently a lot more technically challenging. And there's ones in the United States, there's ones in Sweden, there's Norway. I would like to try and pronounce them, but I'll probably get them wrong. Another very long one, almost as long as the Iditarod, is the Yukon Quest, which is done in Alaska as well.
Okay.
And that, don't have anything else to say about that, actually. But yeah, so they all tend to be from about 400 kilometers up to 1,200 miles or 10,000 miles. Then you've got the mid races are about 100 to 250, 300 miles. And they're all about the place. And these ones will take roughly 24 hours. About 100 miles will take about 24 hours. Probably a bit quicker if you're really good. And then you've got the sprint races, which are like 60 miles, and that'll be done in half a day type thing, if not quicker. Yeah. There's a lot more of them than I thought. And like even Britain has races. Britain, we don't have any snow.
Really?
But they do it on like carts with wheels and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
So it's kind of less cool, but it's still basically the same stuff.
Yeah.
You don't maybe have the same feet problem, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So Iditarod, real quick, what do you know about that?
What? Oh, I just know the history behind it. What is the fastest time it was ever ran in? Just the Iditarod, yeah.
I believe it is 8 hours. 8 hours keeps saying 8 hours. It's like 8 days something.
So
I do have the number
They ran it in 5.5 days.
Yeah.
But they did. It was only 74 miles of it because it was from Nenana to Nome, and they did it relay style with no dog running over 100 miles. So every 100 miles, they got a new pack
to makes
run
a
it.
Difference.
Yeah.
Because the quickest time in the race is 8 days, 22 hours and 46 minutes and 2 seconds. The longest is 35 days, 15 hours, 9 minutes and 1 second. It's almost like when it gets to 35 days, why even give him the 1 second?
Yeah.
Don't be a dick, man. Give him just 9 minutes. So that's a major difference. I don't know how it could take you 35 days. I guess maybe your team weren't ready for it. But
Yeah.
The team consists between 12 and 16 dogs, but you have to finish with at least 6 dogs.
What happens to the other ones?
Well, they'll be resting or they'll be sort of taken on. So nowadays, because you have a whole team of handlers that's helping you along the way, you have to start with 16 in your squad, I think.
Okay.
And then you have to finish with at least 6, which is pretty interesting. Actually, I guess you have to, once you start putting a prize money, you need to have these sort of things really tight, because I think it's like you win like 50 grand or something, which doesn't seem like enough, but I guess if it's just what you do, it's quite a lot.
The different dog, like the different team positions are really cool too.
Yeah. So tell me what the positions are. Starting from the closest, starting to the person, the human.
The person's called the musher.
The musher?
Yes.
Or the musher? I don't
Mush.
know. Mush.
Musher.
Mush. Okay.
Yeah. We actually say that to Sadie sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
Like when we're on runs and she's like not going very fast, we'll like hit the leash and say, mush, mush.
Does it actually keep it going though?
No, because she has no idea what it means.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah. So that's the person that's like on the sled. Usually they're just like chilling on it. They're like holding it, keeping track of the dogs. Or it said that they could also sometimes like run behind it just to help speed it up a little bit. But I'm assuming that'd have to be in like some really slow situations that they need to run behind it.
I guess if you just kick off it a little bit and sprint, it will make a difference, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not for a long distance.
No.
I'm surprised, like, they seem to stand the whole time. I would put like a wee seat.
Yeah, me too.
And like do it like Fred Flintstone style, just use your legs going.
That, and then like it also seems that they're like hunched over.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like, I think at least I would make it where I could like stand up tall, not like
especially
hunched
if you do
over.
it for 1,000 bloody miles.
Yeah.
I know they're probably like resting every 100 miles or something, but still, you'd have to rest a lot less than that. That's crazy. 8 days, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Okay, so that's the person, and you have their sled. So he's the one that relays the commands and sort of. You said that, right?
The
Musher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So he's the commander. He's the one that like doesn't steer. I don't think.
No. Well, yes and no.
But he's the one in control of the dogs.
Yeah. Okay.
The musher is a person, by the way. I want to point that out. It's not a dog.
And he's always connected to the animate sled, right?
Yes.
Yes. So he's always got the sled, and the sled is
Yes.
just a sled, I guess. I'm sure nowadays it's made out of like carbon fiber.
Yeah.
It's just like a sled.
Yeah.
Okay, and who's the most important dog?
I think the lead dog.
Yeah, I think the lead dog is the most important.
Yeah.
And tell me about him or her.
It's just at the head of the pack, or head of the. I mean, I guess it would be the pack. It's the head of the team. That's the one who like responds to the commands, follows the trail, and sets the pace.
Okay, so he or she is the very front, and I'm assuming the other dogs just follow him as such?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if they... I mean, I'm assuming they would know the commands too, but like...
Yeah, I'm sure they're all respond to it, but probably the lead dog's the one who has to be the most attuned to it, I guess. And yeah, I'm assuming, yes, that's probably pretty smart and quick, I guess. And then what you've got, who's the next one?
The swing dogs.
And what about the swing dogs?
They follow the lead... Or they follow the lead dog and help set the pace and turn the sled around corners. Okay.
So there may be...
That kind of makes sense because swing would be like swinging around corners.
Yeah, and it's got plural. So is there 2 dogs?
So the lead dog can be one or 2. And then the swing dogs, I guess it's just 2.
Yeah, they're just kind of...
side by side.
It. And then you've got... Following that... So this is going from the front backwards.
Yes.
Then we've got... The
team dogs, yeah.
Okay, and what do they do?
These are the main
engine.
Power of the sled, and then also help turn it a little bit, but mainly just like the force.
Yeah, so they're basically you've got the leader, you've got the people who are controlling. It almost seems like the lead dog's doing it. The swing dog's almost like the second in command to control. The swing dogs are passing it on. It's like middle management.
Yeah.
And then you've got one more dog, or dogs plural, depending.
The wheel dogs.
And what do the wheel dogs do?
I think they're like the ones that are right in front of the sled, and I think those are like the main, it's like the strongest ones.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense because they're right behind the heaviest part of the thing, so they have to be strong to help pull the actual sled and the person. Yeah,
I think the wheel dogs are known to be the heavier ones and the stronger ones.
Okay.
So you would have your sort of faster dogs at the front. Mm-hmm. You'd have your endurance dogs in the middle, and then you'll have your heavy dogs at the back. Yeah. Although they all have similar endurance, stamina type stuff.
I think Sadie would be a wheel dog because she's fat right now.
Yeah. But she's got no endurance either. Like we play for 5 minutes and she's done.
Yep.
She's like out. Alright, are you familiar with the calls?
I know Mush.
Mush. So Mush, let's go, alright, hike. Various commands similar to that means go. So I think it's probably a personal thing. Mush is probably a traditional one. Do you know what the commands for right turn and left turn are?
One's like haul.
Yeah? What way doing that is?
Right?
Haw is left.
Really? No,
50-50 chance. And the other one is gi. Or I don't know if it's pronounced gi or g, to be honest. I would call it gi. But it's interesting because those are very different in their enunciation. Haw is very different to G, and it's, animals don't respond to the words, they respond to the noises.
Yeah,
so I guess
that makes sense.
Yeah, and even like mush again is totally different.
Totally
to both of them. Apparently, if you say come here, come haw, so they're making a k at the beginning, I guess, is for like a 180 turn.
Okay.
You'd need a big turning circle for that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
What would stop be?
I think stop is whoa.
Which is also another completely different one.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like any of them. So
no.
I don't know if I'm assuming that's deliberate.
Yeah.
But do you think someone sat down and did it, or do you think it's just naturally what came?
Probably naturally what came, because I don't know that when they were first starting to do this, if they would have known that that's what dogs respond to.
But maybe they did. It's like
maybe.
Back 9,000 years ago, they're smarter than you think. When it comes to this sort of instinct stuff.
Yeah.
There's also a couple other things like trail. If you shout trail to oncoming people... Oh, this is more... Actually, you don't shout at the dogs, you shout at the people. If you shout trail, it gives you right of way. If you give your dog sleigh, I think you have right of way over snowmobiles and stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's also one called line out. And that's a command for the lead dog to pull the team straight, get the kind of sled working. Mm-hmm. So that's basically at the start of the race when you get them all hooked in. You just go line out and they kind of go. Yeah. To sort of nice.
That makes sense. Even when we were using just the bike, you had to make sure it was actually pulled out before she started running, or it would
it's like a wolf.
Yeah.
It's like when we do sled drags in the gym. Yeah. If it's loose, then you get that sort of initial jerk.
Yep.
All right, so it's crazy. You just think, they're all Huskies, but apparently they've all got different roles and different stats as such. And the lead dog, I'm assuming that was that Boto or Bonto or whatever his name was.
Balto.
Yeah,
Balto was the lead dog.
Yeah. So it probably isn't even doing the most work, the front dog. But it gets the most glory.
All the movies.
It's like, I was about to say it's like some random basketball player, but I don't know enough basketball players, and I don't know if there's one that's considered like this. But all right, so the most exciting, the stuff I really want to talk about, because this sled stuff's cool, and the races are cool. Like I said, that Iditarod is very impressive to be able to do that sort of stuff. And I'm sure the parts of it can be exciting, but what we want to talk about is the dogs.
Yes.
All right, so have you got a list of the different types of dogs?
I mean, I got Siberian Husky because that's what I have.
Okay.
But I know there's also Alaskan Huskies and then Alaskan Malamute.
Mm-hmm. So I think they're the actual, in the North America, obviously.
Okay.
The Alaskan Husky and Alaskan Malamute. Malamute. They're obviously the most common. You've also got one called the Alaskai. Not familiar with that one. The Canadian Eskimo dog, or the Kimik. I'm not sure. The Chinook, which is that sort of really round, fluffy looking one. Are you familiar with the Chinook? I don't know. I've seen one a couple before. You've got the Eurohound, which I'll maybe talk about a little bit, because that's almost since racing's come on, they've sort of tweaked things. A Greenland dog, the Kushka dog, the Mackenzie River Husky, the Samoyed, the Sepla Siberian Sled Dog, and the Siberian Husky. So there's more than just the Siberian Husky, but for the most part, most of these are somewhat like breeds.
A
or
part
kind
of
what do they call dogs that are mixed breed?
Mixed breed?
No, but it's like a almost like a slang name for it.
Mutt.
Yeah, they're just mutts.
Yeah.
But I guess mutt's when you don't know the breed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever it is. All right, so tell us about your Siberian.
So they're actually smaller than a lot of people think they are. Typical like males weigh between like 45 and 60 pounds, and females 35 to 50.
What's that in real money?
Okay,
pounds,
20
pounds.
to 27 kilos and 16 to 23 kilos.
Yeah. Okay. So is that male and female?
20 to 27 is male. 16 to 23 is female.
Okay.
And then so like that's the average size. They are, I mean, they're bred to run and pull, and I think their temperament's what helps them, but I don't know if the temperament was bred into them or if they I don't know how that works. But their temperament, they're just very stubborn, they're smart, but they're stubborn, and they want to do what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Which I guess that's the whole breaking them and making them sled dogs. But I think the stubbornness and that animalistic drive is what keeps them alive on these trails.
Yeah, I think it's almost they've been bred into doing that stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think they actually don't actually know anymore what they were bred out of.
Okay.
I think that's sort of long past.
Everybody thinks Sadie's part wolf. Actually, kids think that she is a wolf. So.
Well, there was definitely the use of wolves originally, but that they've long lost a lot of that sort of because wolves are much bigger dogs. Mm-hmm. So, but I think the Siberian Husky are known to be stronger pullers, so not as good at good strength and good stamina in comparison to the Alaskans, who have got better speed and endurance, apparently.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that when we were getting ready to buy Sadie, we looked at differences between Siberian and Alaskan Huskies, and I think Siberian are prettier, but I didn't know I just thought Alaskan Huskies were just another kind. I didn't realize that Alaskan Huskies were a mix between Alaskan Malamutes and Siberian Huskies.
The way I read it was that the Russians came across with their Siberian Huskies and liked the speed of the North American Husky, or the Alaskan Huskies, and then they breed them. So a lot of the ones now we see nowadays are a combination of the strength and the speed, especially because they're pretty. I think traditionally the Russian one or the Siberian Husky would have been entirely different to the Alaskan, and then over time they've sort of become together. Also because there's that top bit that Russia meets Alaska. There's probably some sort of travel where they got across. At least that's what I've read. I might be wrong. And then so the Huskies are the ones with the typical. Well, how do the Siberian Huskies differ from the Alaskan Huskies then? Because I'm not familiar enough.
The Alaskan ones are. They're very similar. Their look just isn't as regal.
Are they as fluffy?
Not really. I guess some of them could be. Their coats aren't as a Husky's coat is very pretty, very just the markings let you know that it's Siberian Husky, and that's not something that Alaskan Huskies really share.
So yeah, I've got it as that. Yeah, they look more like a normal dog, or you could say they don't have the same wolf kind of sharpness to their look. They're, as we said, a bit faster, a little bit heavier, or they can get a little bit heavier.
Not by much though. I thought they were a lot heavier.
I bet it says in this that they bear little resemblance to the typical Husky breeds, which I guess that's probably a little bit true. But I think they've obviously been bred again nowadays to look more like this and be different. I wouldn't be surprised if there'd been a whole bunch of other European dogs and pointers and shepherd dogs and stuff that have contributed to it.
Yeah.
But they're really cool looking. A lot of the Huskies now, especially ones for racing, have been mixed with greyhounds and stuff as well to kind of increase their speed.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Which, yeah. And also, again, in the past, they would have been bred with part wolf to increase their endurance, because apparently wolves have really good endurance. However, a lot of the wolf dogs apparently are not very good at discipline. They'll refuse to do stuff and they'll be into their own thing. I guess you have to be quite alpha male. Okay, so that's the Husky. You much prefer the Siberian, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, I think everyone does. The Siberian's so much cooler looking. Yeah. If you're looking for a house dog.
Yes.
I'm sure if you're looking for a speedy one, Alaska is a much better option. But I think I could see an Alaskan Husky and not know it's a Husky.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
I wouldn't know what it was, actually. I'd be really confused.
Is this a wolf dog? That's what all the kids ask.
What's a Malamute then?
They're bigger. They can weigh up to like 100 pounds.
Oh wow, okay.
Still very fluffy, still have like similar type coats, it's like a bigger version of a Husky. I think they would probably, if I were thinking about like the positions of it, I think they would probably be more the wheels.
Yeah.
Because they seem bigger and maybe like a little less agile, but definitely stronger.
Yeah. I don't know if they're much used for races. I think they're more used for like hauling heavy goods, as you're saying, heavy goods. Yeah. It says here they were used during the World War II to haul stuff across Alaska, which is kind of cool. But yeah, these almost look like the stocky guys, like the stocky sort of, I've got all the power, and they almost seem like they walk with a boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
I don't know, you can't see this, listeners,
it's very like
almost
puffed
a bit
up
swag,
chest almost.
And it's only because they're super fluffy, but thick coats and tough feet.
Yeah.
Broad chest, it even says.
And I don't know, I just think it's funny that like all three of these dogs seem very like wolf-like in characteristic, but if you meet a Husky or a Malamute or any of these dogs, like for the most part, they're the sweetest, just like, they're not good guard dogs. They will love anybody.
Yeah.
They just want to be loved on. They're just big, fluffy, like, stuffed animals.
Yeah.
And that is not, like, the perception. People are terrified of Sadie, but...
I think it's strange because they're one of the oldest domesticated dogs, apparently, because they're used for this work, kind of sled dragging, I guess, and I guess that means they have been most accustomed to being timid in front of humans, I guess.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want one that's vicious because they need to get on with other dogs.
Yeah.
So you need to breed them to get on with other dogs, like the happy ones and the ones that will eat, all the food that they need to and not be picky eaters and stuff like that.
Oh, well, Sadie would die because she's a picky eater.
Well, I think that's what they're saying. A lot, when you're breeding like the racing dogs, you want them to be non-picky eaters because if they're picky at home, they're going to be even more picky in the cold and all this stuff. Apparently, they just eat fat. It's like they have some hard food or whatever, and then they just mix it with like straight up fat.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, a really cool thing about Huskies and probably Malamutes too, like these dogs in general, because they work so much, they're like normal dogs, like if you sit food down, they're just going to keep eating it. Yeah. Like if it's there, they'll eat it. But Husky, they regulate their diet and their intake depending on how much they've worked out. So like if Sadie doesn't play for a long time, she won't eat. Because she knows that she doesn't need it. Yeah. It's gotten a little bit worse over the past year. Yeah. But she used to be very good at it.
Yeah. I think so. Apparently in the races, especially when like I'm going to try and make sure I get this every time. Iditarod. Damn. They can like require up to like 12,000 calories. And for a 50-pound dog, imagine your kid at like 7 or something. I don't know how heavy kids get. Needing 12,000 calories.
That's crazy.
That's mental. And really interesting. So I'll go back to the dogs in a second, I promise. The VO2 max of a human, like a good marathon runner, is about 80. 80, I don't know what liters, I guess, of oxygen per minute per kilogram. Where for these dogs, it's up to about 240 liters of oxygen per minute per kilogram, which is crazy, the endurance and capacity the dogs have. You know, you think, it must be so much hard work for these dogs. Look what they're pulling. And it's like, well, actually, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's, they have 4 times as much VO2 max than humans do. Which is cool, but crazy.
It's really cool.
Just quickly go over some of the lesser-known dogs. You've got the Canadian Eskimo dog, which has got a whole bunch of other names. That's the Kimikyu that I'm not familiar with. It almost looks like a Husky who's been... or a Malamute that's been maybe crossbred or something else, which it probably is. Based in Canada. And it goes to work through the Canadian government. They use them a lot for various things, I'm assuming. And they actually help with hunting. They had to help catch seals and auks and polar bears, which is kind of cool. Then you've got the Chinook. I know the word Chinook from helicopters, but I guess... Is there a Chinook helicopter? I feel like that's a big black helicopter.
Is that one of the one from... I have no idea if it's a helicopter.
I can't remember. Okay, anyway. The Chinook is a sled dog that's actually more from like early 1900s. So it's been more bred to be like this, and it's a blend of the Mastiff, Greenland Husky, German Shepherd, and Belgian Shepherd. So it looks like raggedy ass, but apparently it's quite a good dog.
Okay.
Hard-bodied and tireless gait. Oh, so that's another thing we talked about. To get a really good dog sled team, you need to have them in sync with their gait, so the gait's your running form. Mm-hmm. And they need to be able to change gait and imitate each other. So if you've got them all, you know how they run if they have that weird jump and then they sort of move the feet together. If you get them all in sync in time with that, it's more efficient. But as soon as someone starts to tire or they lose their gait and they're not running like that, they become less efficient.
So you pull that one off and put a new one on?
You either do that or you've got to somehow kind of work it. But it can be easier to just take one off, as you said, yeah. And they need to be able to change the gait depending on how they're feeling and what time of day it is or what type of snow it is. Mm-hmm. So that's quite interesting. You never thought about the gait of a dog before, but Greenland dog, it's an Eskimo dog, heavy dogs with good endurance but like low speed, or little speed in comparison to the other ones. They're good for long expeditions like going to the North Pole and stuff. Okay. Apparently it's 30,000 of these dogs that live on Greenland. There isn't many people on Greenland, let me tell you that. Probably more than that, but not much.
Oh, they're cute.
Yeah, they look like a compact. Well, they've got quite the...
They have a smushy face.
Yeah, it's like they're not quite as pointed in the nose. Mm-mm. Yeah, they're quite good. The Samoyed is a weird one. That's a Siberian one, and it's a fluffy ass dog, and it's used to like herd reindeer and haul sleds. But it's they're really really prized possessions for some reason. So they're really white and fluffy. They look like.
Oh yeah, these are like they're pretty too. Yeah. Oh, on snow they're beautiful.
So these are like the main breeds. These are the ones that almost like have always been in the snow, and then you've got non-sled dog breeds that have been sort of mixed in to make them better, like poodles. I don't know why you'd use a poodle though, but apparently Irish setters, German short-haired pointers, Labrador retrievers, Newfoundlands, and St. Bernards. So they've obviously been mixed in for various reasons. I'm not quite sure why, but
the German short-haired pointer surprises me.
I guess it'd just be for speed or obedience or something like that.
But do they actually have short hair? Yes.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones have thick fur to keep them warm.
Yeah, well, I think that you probably want to have, like, they may be used for sprints. So, depending on what the race is, the type of dog you want, and depending on the type of dog will have this type of hair. Because your Siberian Husky has 2 layers of hair.
Yes.
It's got its inner layer, which is like waterproofing and like thick and dense, and you've got the one outer layer just to keep the snow off. Mm-hmm. And that's that sort of, you can feel it when you touch a dog. Mm-hmm. You can almost go for about an inch before you actually get to any thick fur. Yeah. And then and they want to keep the heat in because they're going long and they're going slow, but they're kind of moving. Like that's why it's heavier. And then you've got the short-haired ones that want to get rid of the heat, that are sprinting because they. The faster they're running, the hotter they get, and need to get cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
that makes sense.
A mix, depending on which one you're going for. I have no idea what this dog is. It looks like it's an Alaskan Malamute compared to a Siberian Husky. Is your favourite definitely the one on the left? Because that one on the right is super fluffy and cute too.
They're both cute.
Having one of each would be good.
So today when I was looking at all this research, we want to get another Husky soon. And I was like, maybe we should get a Malamute instead.
Yeah.
One Husky, one Malamute. I mean,
that would be cool.
Think
you would have to at some point move somewhere cold.
No, they're fine.
They're not fine.
Sadie is fine.
Sadie can't go out running for 50 miles, can she? No.
Actually, before she moved to South Carolina, she was fine running in the heat. It's just getting her back into it.
She can overheat super quick.
She can, but there are ways around it. Ooh, you want to know an interesting fact about their noses?
Oh, tell me.
So they can get this thing called snow nose. Mm-hmm. And
that sounds fun, but I'm
presuming I didn't know it until... No, it's fine. Oh. I didn't know it until... So we got Sadie, and her nose was black. Mm-hmm. And the first winter we had her, it snowed like the whole time, and we were in Virginia. And she would go out and play in it or whatever. And probably by like February or March, I noticed that her nose wasn't black anymore. It looked like the black had gotten scraped off certain parts, and it was like pink. Uh-huh. And they get snow nose to where it's supposed to be in different seasons it changes, but hers just like stayed constant. Yeah. So now, instead of an all black nose, she has like part black and then part of it's pink because she has snow nose.
I don't know. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I do know that when they sleep, they use their tail and they wrap it around their nose
and they curl
to keep
it around
nice
their
and
nose,
warm.
and it's so cute.
That's so cute.
They call it the cyber swirl.
Does Sadie do that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so cool. Because normal dogs don't do that.
No.
It just must be... Because they curl up a lot as well, for being such a big animal. I had a Great Dane, completely useless at this type of thing. He wouldn't be big. It would just sprawl out.
Yeah.
It never, ever curled over. It always just...
So she has to be cool in order to do it.
Yeah.
But, so like, if she's hot, she'll just like sprawl out. But if she's cool, and like if it's like a good cool temperature, she will do it. And it's so cute.
Was she, how did she go out in the snow? I did my wee quotation marks in Houston last year. Oh no, you weren't here.
I weren't here. I wasn't here.
But she would have got snow in Virginia, I guess.
Yeah, she had snow in Virginia. She loved the snow in Virginia.
Yeah.
It was so pretty.
Would you ever like to go dog sledding?
Yes. I actually looked into it when we were in Hokkaido last year. Huh?
I guess they must do it over there, yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't have time. But I did read that they have it in Colorado. Drake and I actually want to take her to Colorado at some point and just like let her play in the snow.
Yeah. Well, we can do it next year. We've got our passes.
I know.
We'll just drive up one weekend.
Just drive to Colorado?
It's only like 16 hours away. It's not
Drake
too bad.
would love that.
Imagine, I wouldn't mind doing that.
It's not a bad idea. We'll consider it.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we can do that. Oh, you guys can do that, and I'll fly up and meet you there.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'd come road trip. Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to have a go. I wouldn't. I'm sure you get it in Canada and stuff. You can go up there and be like, oh, spend a day doing this. It's like going to see gorillas or chimpanzees. Just something more fun. But I'm assuming you'd be on the sled with someone doing all the calls and stuff. But even so, it'd be cool just to see a bunch of dogs having fun like that. Mm-hmm. Like, when do you ever see like 12 dogs in a row? Like, never. Unless it's like a dog park. And even then, they're all running about like idiots. But
then I kind of worry that if I ever did it, then they would be like, it'd be like the service dogs where you couldn't, they were just very strict. Like, you can't pet them, you can't play with them, and like.
I don't think it's like that. Looking at, because I watched some YouTube videos. Pardon?
If I see a husky, I want to play with it.
Well, no, I think you can. Looking at the videos that I've looked at, like, obviously they're a little bit more strict because they're about to race, but it looks like it's just fair game.
Oh, they just get to play. Yeah, good. That makes me happy.
They're like, on these ones, they're super tired as well, so most of the time they're lying down sleeping, but I'm sure if you get, well, we'll find out again, or you'll find out, I guess. Yeah. All right, well, you got much more to say about this?
No.
I think this is actually, you know what, it's stupidly interesting.
It's so interesting.
The dogs and we need to do an episode on dogs.
Just dogs in general.
The amount of times I've like, oh, I should get a dog. Oh, I can't get a dog because I don't have my own place. And then on top of that, I don't have any time to give to a dog. But dogs are cool.
You can always play with Sadie.
Oh, thanks. I'm always trying to figure out what dog I want when I get older. Because I will get a dog. But I'm not going to get a rat. But I need to get a dog. It needs to come up to like my thigh.
A husky.
It has to be a big dog. Maybe a Malamute. But it's a bit fluffy. I'm more of a fan of the short-haired dogs.
Ooh, get a Rhodesian Ridgeback. I've always wanted one.
A Rhodesian Ridgeback?
Yeah, I've always wanted one.
That sounds like something from the Kama Sutra. That's weird. Rhodesian Ridgeback.
I think they were bred to hunt lions.
Oh gosh, okay, this is a weird looking dog.
They're so pretty.
It's got like a face of like what's my brother's dog called? It is, I don't know, but it's got a stubby nose. For those you can't see, stubby nose. It's got a body very similar to a Great Dane, but like a smaller version of it. It's got long legs, a lengthy body, but it's got like a strong, short neck and a round, short, stubby snout. They're
very stocky.
Oh, okay.
And just like muscular.
Yeah, well, that's supposed to be a chasing a lion. Then I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, okay. Maybe that's actually not too bad a dog.
Yeah. I really want one.
The thing about dogs is, like, I don't really care. Like, I don't want a pedigree type one. You know, so I don't mind it mixed breed. Pedigree, A, tend to be more expensive, and B, tend to die quick sooner. You know what? I don't like this look of a dog, though.
The little wrinkles, but they're so cute.
No, the wrinkles, it's this ear thing that they do.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of that. I don't know why. However, I think my dog did that too. So we had two dogs. I had a German Shepherd, and then I had, people call it German Shepherd. I'm sure it's also called an Alsatian. I don't know if they're the same or not.
I don't know.
And every American, I say, oh, you had an Alsatian. They're like, what's an Alsatian? I'm pretty sure it's the exact same thing.
I don't know what an Alsatian is, but I know what a German Shepherd is.
It's a German Shepherd. Alsatian is a German Shepherd.
Okay.
I don't know. It's known as an Alsatian in Britain and Ireland. There we go. I don't know why it's called that in Britain and Ireland. Alsatian wolf dog. So yeah, that's one of the wolf dogs that got pointy ears, and it's after Husky. It's probably the second one that looks most like a wolf to some degree, like nowhere near, but in comparison to most other dogs, like that.
Yeah,
thing.
For sure.
And these are the ones that used by cops and stuff in the military. So they're super responsive and very protective.
I kind of want a German Shepherd too.
Very
2 Huskies, a German Shepherd, and a Rhodesian Ridgeback. Perfect pack.
That'd be a hell of a pack. Where was I going with that? I can't remember. Yes, dogs are cool. Sled dog racing is kind of cool. It's okay for the dogs. They aren't punished, and PETA, stay away from them. They're all good and happy.
Yes.
They get lots of food and they're very taken care of. Not that PETA had any risk of getting them. Anyway, all right, okay, cool. Well, on to our last bit of a thing that I've made up and we're going to do, because even though this is already 50 minutes, damn, this was meant to be like a 30-minute one. Dogs, damn it. We need to come up with a name for it.
What did you learn? I don't know. We'll come up with a better name.
Okay, so it's going to be the shits or the hits. No, it can be...
Yeah, I like that.
When or in the bin. I don't know. Something. What? So you can... So I was listening to some things and I was like, oh, this isn't very good. I don't want to talk about this. But I was like, no, maybe I will talk about it and just talk about how crap it is.
Yeah.
And then replace it with something that's good as well.
So
have you got anything that's in the bin? I would just say no.
I mean, it's more just frustrating than anything. So I've been listening to radio recently and they keep playing this one song by Luke Bryan. And I don't like Luke Bryan, but it's so catchy. And I can't stop singing it. But then I always start singing it and I'm like, I don't like this song. I don't like this person. And so then I'll change it. But then it gets stuck in my head.
I'm a very strong believer of good music is good music regardless who's singing it. So if it's a good song, you just got to accept it.
But he's so annoying.
You don't have to like him or his music or his band to go see him. Just like, you know what? Credit Luke Bryan. You somehow made a song that even I like.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well done. And he probably didn't write it anyway.
Probably not. I said that about Sugarland, and then they wrote all of their music, so
that's true.
We have to be careful.
So that was your win for the week?
Yeah.
Okay, I had a couple of wins. My first one was the movie Upgrade. I know we said songs, but I'm going to the movie books or anything.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Upgrade?
No.
So it's one by Edgar Wright. Oh, he directed it. The guy who did the Cornetto trilogy and Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Oh, the Cornetto trilogy. No. Shaun of the Dead.
No.
Hot Fuzz. These are, I suppose they're British movies, but you need to see them. Okay, we need to watch. I don't care if you watch Space Jam or not. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
I watched Space Jam.
Yeah, only after 20 years after it came out.
Fine.
And then World's End. 3 movies we have to watch.
Okay.
And then Baby Driver, have you seen that?
No.
That one came out 2 years ago. It's pretty good. Anyway, this one's also by Edgar Wright. And it's like a low budget movie, but it's about a guy who gets a computer chip into his head and because he gets paralyzed and it helps him function again. And it's interesting. It's good. It's got an ending like, another one of these endings, but it's quite good. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
So that was my hit movie-wise. Hit music-wise, nothing major. I listened to a band called Boston Manor, and they're a British band from Blackpool. Reminds me of music I used to listen to in 2010, 2012.
Okay.
I don't want to say pop punk, but kind of pop punk, but not really. But they remind me of bands like Kids in Glass Houses, You Me at 6, and We Are the Ocean, which you probably heard of. Okay. It's weird rock music. I'm surprised they're still about because they're making music that's very 10 years old. Not to be dissing them. They only came out in 2013, so not 10 years old as I say. And I like it. It's my type of music, but it's
okay.
It's quite a good album actually. It's called Welcome to the Neighborhood.
Welcome to the Neighborhood.
I also listened to my shits. Do you have any shits for this week?
No, but I have one more hit.
Oh, what's your other hit?
So I mean it's an old movie, but I rewatched it and it was so good. I watched Serenity. Have you ever seen it?
I believe I have.
Did you ever watch Firefly?
No.
It's so good.
I haven't seen Serenity because I haven't seen Firefly and I thought,
okay,
well, what's the point? Even though they kind of stand alone anyway.
Kind of, but you should watch both.
Yeah.
And so I watched Serenity last Monday and remembered how much I love Firefly and all the characters, and it was just so good.
But all the characters from Firefly are in Serenity, are they?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Even that guy who's in like that TV show now that's now cancelled that was called like a name. What was it called? Like Church or something.
I don't know.
Okay.
Most of the main characters, if not all of the main characters, are in Serenity.
Okay.
Like the main people on the ship are in Serenity.
So you seen this TV show Suits?
No.
Okay. I think the female boss in Suits is the black woman from Serenity. Not
Really?
Serenity, or Firefly.
Okay.
But I didn't know that until YouTube. Everyone goes on about Firefly and all the geeks do, and I was like, I spent like 10 years thinking Firefly was Farscape. Have you ever seen Farscape?
No.
It's just a crap TV show. But apparently it wasn't, and I had never understood what the hype was, because like Farscape was crap, and I didn't realize they were two different things.
Oh,
Anyway.
you should totally watch it.
Okay.
It's so good.
I don't have time. There wasn't many seasons of it. Who did that?
There's
Joss
one
Whedon?
season.
There's
I
only
think
one
it's Joss
season.
Whedon.
I think it was 2.
Okay, then 2. Not very many though.
No, there wasn't. That's why there was a big fuss about it. Okay, maybe I'll check that out. Serenity, I'll maybe wait for the one. Okay, I apologise. Or the nerds are getting on at me.
Yes.
All right, I'll have to check that out. Maybe Serenity. No, if I watch Serenity, is that going to ruin Farscape?
Yes.
Not Farscape.
Firefly.
See, there you go, Firefly.
Just watch Firefly,
Okay.
and then you can watch Serenity.
My shits for this week. 1, and I don't like to say shit because it's not that bad. It's fine. Paul McCartney's new album, Egyptian Station. Now, I'm not a Paul McCartney fan at all. Mm-hmm. I'm not even that big a Beatles fan. The music's good, but I'm like, to the Beatles. And this album is kind of shit. And there's 2 things I want to say about it. There's one good song. I can't remember for the life of me which one it was called again. That was a single. Can't remember which one it was. Damn, I really want to know which one it was. Let's see. That one. Come On To Me. That's a good one. And that he starts to make some nice chords. That's a good one. And there's another one that he talks about being happy, but he starts off with like, I've spent really a long time being high and I've been really wasted, but now I'm happy or something. Or no, I don't have to because I'm happy. Okay. I'm like, that seems really weird listening to him saying he spent, in fact, you know, hell, let's play it. Oh, is it going to take a second to get there? Okay, and he goes, because I'm happy. It's just weird hearing him say that. And then there's another one that he goes on about, like, I really like you, blah, blah, blah. I just want to... And it goes, F you. And I'm like, what? Are you talking about trying to sleep with someone, but saying F you? And it's really weird.
That is very strange.
It's like... And he does it in his sort of very kind of Mr. Rogers-esque voice. You know, it's like, it's just...
creepy.
Oh, it's just very pleasant and nice. And it's like, oh, hello, I'm Paul McCartney. And then he's talking about effing someone. I don't know. It's weird.
That is very strange.
So those songs were okay, but then the next one that I just sucks so bad. And like, so talking about the good rap music last week, Kanye released a single with Lil Pump. I don't really know who Lil Pump is.
I don't either. Anyway,
it's called I Love It. It sucks so much ass. I'm going to play it after this, and I won't play it on this because it's a little bit rude. Well, it's quite a lot rude. But it's just the pinnacle of crap music. And I like hip-hop and rap music.
Yeah.
But this is just garbage.
That sucks.
I don't understand it. Like, how can someone like Kanye, who claims to be a genius and like the world's greatest Kanye West, blah blah blah, and Lil Pump, who I don't know who he is. He's probably someone cool.
Yeah.
Just released such a crap song.
I don't know. That's because he is what's the word? He thinks he can like get away with whatever. So it doesn't really matter what it sounds like. But
like, first of all, he's a father. He's married to a woman who's arguably more successful than he is. You know, this type of song, once you listen to it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's just, man, it's weird.
That sucks.
Anyway, that's my shit. Kanye, you're in my shit list again. Go back and please do some more Graduation, because nobody likes anything you've done since then. Some people do, but they're wrong. Yeah.
I don't think I have any shits for this week. I didn't listen to very much new stuff, so I don't think I've watched TV except that one movie.
I think Upgrade might have actually been prior to our last podcast, but
it's okay.
Who's counting?
Nobody.
Okay, well, we've gone over an hour. because I need to just squeeze in my new feature, even though it's probably a crap feature, but we'll decide.
I like the feature.
And Huskies are cool.
Yes.
All right.
So is Danny.
Danny's all right. Danny is, we said already, but she's been quietly sleeping. Her eyes are slowly closing as Kayla rocks her to sleep.
Yes. The whole podcast.
Yeah. It's been pretty good, actually. Pretty impressive. Yep. Okay. Well, in that case, I've been Liam.
And I'm Kayla.
I paused there for too long. And this has been Mumblecast.
Bye. Bye.